Now, I've got a question for you there. Do you think from that fight that it was the fear of losing that drove you more, or the pursuit of winning? What do you reckon?
That's a really good question. I have to think about that.
Now, knowing you, I would assume that it would have been the thought of losing would probably have pushed you more, because you know that other people are there. And I think that can happen with a lot of people, that, it's the thought of failure, if you've already experienced it at some point in your life, drives you to such a level where you think, I cannot let that happen again.
I've been thinking that's a really, really good question. And I honestly couldn't tell you the answer, because part of me would say losing, fear of losing in front of a crowd. Now, losing on my own when no one's around is sometimes equally, if not more, upsetting, because the only person that I am really doing it for is myself. I'm not getting in there for anybody else. I'm doing it for, my own benefit of what I want to achieve in that moment, which was to win this boxing match, which I did, obviously. And I was fortunate enough to have the right friends and around me and coaches around me to actually go about winning it. But no amount of coaching and no amount of pushing from friends won me that fight. I got in the ring, I did the training, I leveraged their help and implemented it into my own training and fight and in the fight, and ended up winning. And the thought of losing was, I'm going to go with that one, just because I think losing for me would have lasted a lot longer for my own, my own psyche, where I've let myself down more than anything. But also, for me, winning is everything. Yeah. And it's a really strange place when, I remember even anything I do, winning is almost everything. And it can be perceived as being a bad thing, because I'd like to try and be a little bit more fair when we're playing games.
Easy going.
Yeah, exactly. Or be light-hearted. I just can't. It's not inside me. And I used to cheat when we played Monopoly growing up, because
fucking knew it.
But it was one of those things where it was too deeply embedded into who I was as a person that I wanted to win all of the time. And whether that's a bad thing or whether it makes me a bad person, maybe. But But that allows me to sort of, when I am working really hard and spending 80 hours a week, it allows me to go, well, actually, I'm winning here. And that's what drives me forward. So I do still see it as a balance.
I think as well, like the way that using that same boxing, the work-life balance between friends and family with something like that, what you did was you incorporated and involved family and friends within that thing you were doing. So, it's always a good sort of tip off that if you are doing some of these things and you're just focusing purely on just yourself and you're not telling anyone, not speaking about it, and just keeping your own little hole, sometimes it's good to involve other people, because, it makes them feel like they want to be on board with you as well. And then, you're going to benefit from it.